Hey guys, it's Nemo and welcome to HMS Icarus. Now, this game is not a high scoring game with lots of damage and things. None of my games really are. And it's a very short game, but I chose this game because it showcases two things that I want to point out, especially as a destroyer player. Now, the Icarus isn't the best ship. It is better, yes, than the Icarus. This is where you first get your hydro, which is good. And that really helps in being an aggressive, even though you're a defensive ship, an aggressive ship on the cap, because you can move in a little bit more freely with the hydro going, so you're not really going to be early torped, which is what I like to do to players. I like to torpedo those early areas where players most commonly enter the cap circles. Now the Icarus, with 6 kilometer detection with a 10-point captain, I'm running the same captain I've run on the Jarvis and the Icarus beforehand. My advice would be to anybody who's going to grind down this line is don't leave tier 4 until you have a 10-point captain. It'll give you a significant advantage, and these ships really need as much advantage as they can get. But you get 7 kilometer torpedoes, which is nice. It's a little bit better. You can actually stealth torp without having to run away this time. Now, as we push into the cap here, you can see we have 3 destroyers pushing this cap, and then a Fubuki pops up. So I pop my hydro, and I fire at the Fubuki, and I turn away, because Japanese destroyers, usually you are going to see torpedoes in the water. So I smoke so I can disengage, and then I get ready to go back and torpedo. Now, the first thing I wanted to showcase was what this Fubuki does. This Fubuki, as you can see there by the capturing area, sits in the cap against 3 enemy destroyers way too long. If you see 3 enemy destroyers and you're on your own as a destroyer, abandon the cap. Now he's left. You can see it's starting to tick over the capturing area. He's left the cap now, but look at all those torpedoes. Look at them all. It's just soup in there. I just saw one hit, and then the second one hits, and the Fubuki, unfortunately that's the end of his game. End of his game already. If you're a destroyer and you see 3 others, leg it. Just get out of there. Don't worry about hanging around. So, the Icarus is, let's talk about its gun firepower. The gun power is not very good at all. The only real good strike I've had on a ship was on a Z-39 when I detonated him. But that's not always going to happen. I have played in Icarus battles where I have been completely outgunned by the HSF Harakazi, because the Harakazi can take the 100mm guns that the Akazuki gets. So that's why this ship can be very tough to play, because just like all the other destroyers I've sort of showcased, you have to, the Royal Navy ones, you've got to sit back and play it safe. So we've capped out B. I decided to go to A, and my Acasta has the same idea. Then it's like my spidey sense sort of starts tingling, and I decided to go north of the cap, because I think if I go into the cap I'm going to get, this Pensacola will be there. What else is there? So going north, and going north probably makes sense as well, better as a slower destroyer who doesn't have a speed boost. You do have your hydro, yes, but mine is starting to run out. I decided as I'm going past the islands here, I'm going to take a couple of shots at the Pensacola, and I do manage to get a fire, which is good. So we set him on fire, then someone else fires. There we go. Now we can see who else is coming to the cap. There's a Nürnberg, I think, down there, or a Königsberg. It's a bit hard to see on the replay. And the other good thing is, going north, I can also look after my battleship coming down. Now, tier 5 battleship, I don't know how long the guy's been playing the game, but if I was the battleship, I'd be more central between A and B, so I could get shots over both caps instead of sitting at the back there. But he comes down, that's what he does, so We keep going north. We spot the pincer again, and my caster, he actually does pretty well. He plays well here. So I decided to drop these almost preemptive torps so I can try and hit the Acasta and the Pensacola. Smoke up, start firing on the Acasta. Again, nice short smokes to help you disengage, which someone hits me pretty hard from behind. And all I could think of is that it must have been the Queen Elizabeth. So we move out of the smoke. Why? Because I always tell you guys, don't sit broadside in the smoke near a destroyer. So fortunately for me, it doesn't look like any torpedoes are going to come. Now, as I was saying, I run the same 13-point captain I've had on the Jarvis. Well, actually, he was 10 points when I did the Jarvis one. He's been, over the last couple of weeks, of playing a lot of Jarvis and then playing Acasta and Icarus. He's gone up to 13 points, which is handy, which is really handy. You just, the 6-kilometer detection that you get when you start facing tier 8, it's just, even then it's not competitive. I mean, as I said, I got absolutely machine gunned by a Harikaze in this destroyer, and it wasn't a fun experience because you can't fire quick enough. I mean, the gun power is not good enough. You got a 4.2 second reload, but that's with BFT. So I'd hate to see, it's probably about a 4.5 second reload without that. The other thing that I would run on these destroyers would be expert marksman, because the gun turrets turn extremely slow. So I rush into the Farragut there to go dark, and then I end up going dark. Now what I want to do is let him fire at me here, so he does, and I don't fire back because I just want to keep him spotted. So same sort of technique I've been talking about the whole time with the other two destroyers, Jarvis and Acasta. It didn't work as well here because there wasn't as many ships that could fire upon him. So I decided just to launch random torpedoes in his direction and where I think he may come back to, and the reason is that you just never ever know. You never know. And then I decided, well, I'm going to head back across the top of the cap, and I can see that the enemy Acasta is being spotted, but he's going to be taken care of. I mean, there's a couple of other destroyers like a Guider and a Kamikaze are around there, so I thought, well, I'll turn back around. I got 6-kilometer detection. I will outspot the Farragut, because the Farragut gets a 6.4 with the 10-point captain. I ping the map where I think the Farragut's going to be, and then boom! I was having a good hard laugh that the Farragut managed to hit one of those torpedoes, and as I said, you just never know. So I turned back around, because I've done my job in screening my battleship. Now I can get back into the cap, so I head back that way. Don't know why I just didn't turn and go straight down in, but it didn't really matter. So my caster here, he showcases some really good Acasta play. He torpedoes while the Queen Elizabeth is moving forward, and then he keeps running. Now when the Acasta, you have to do that because you've got the same detection as length of your torpedoes, which is 6. That's with a 10-point captain. So I come down, I decide to help. I didn't want a torpedo there, I couldn't anyway, but I want my Acasta would have been in the way. So at least 2 torpedoes, what a great shot. I mean, well done to whoever that Acasta player was. That was a great torpedo launch. I fire on the Queen Elizabeth. I switched to AP, but it didn't matter. He got the dev strike and absolutely rocked him, and he deserved the well done. That was really well done. And then I think, well, let's go. Time to get into the cap. And then all of a sudden, the game just ends. And it was a good game. It didn't have much going for it. Actually, I finished second in this game. The post-battle results screen gets cut off, and the Kamikaze R gets first. So that's just a quick highlight on the Icarus, guys. Not much to it, almost the same as the Acasta, just with hydro and a worse tier. Anyway guys, thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you next time.